7 signs. You are a Heyoka, the most powerful empath. If you've ever made someone uncomfortable just by staying calm and looking them in the eyes, this is for you, because some empaths don't soothe the room. They expose it. They don't absorb the lie. They interrupt it. Quick clarity before we go on. Online, Heyoka Empath is used as a modern label for a truth-mirroring, pattern-reading empath. I'm using it in that common online sense today. Now listen, because this is not a compliment, and it's not a curse. It's a profile. And if it's you, it explains why certain people instantly feel safe around you, and why certain people instantly feel threatened. I'm going to give you 7 signs. But sign number 4 is the one that explains why people suddenly call you cold after you've spent years being the one who cared the most. And near the end, I'll give you one action step that tells you whether this power is healthy discernment or just your nervous system stuck in survival mode. Sign 1. Your presence changes people's behavior before you even speak. You walk into a room and someone who was loud becomes quieter. Someone who was confident becomes careful. Someone who was charming starts watching your face like they're trying to read the result of a test. That's not mystical. That's your attention. Your attention doesn't feel casual. It feels like it sees through layers. Most people are used to being mirrored with politeness. They are not used to being mirrored with accuracy, and accuracy makes masks feel heavy. If you've noticed that people edit themselves around you, this is why. Sign 2. You break tension with truth instead of comfort. A lot of empaths soothe, they smooth. They try to keep things pleasant, but you feel a pull to name what's real, not to start drama, to stop the pretending. You notice the sideways comment, the smile that's sharp, and the joke that's actually a warning, the silence that's actually punishment, the I'm fine that clearly isn't fine, and you can't unsee it. Sometimes you say the sentence nobody else is willing to say. Sometimes you ask the question that makes the room go quiet. Sometimes you do it with humor, not to entertain, but to pop the balloon of denial. This is why some people call you intense. It's not your volume, it's your honesty. Sign 3. People confess to you without meaning to. You've had this happen. Someone tells you a simple story, then accidentally reveals the real motive. Or they overshare and later say, I don't know why I told you that. That's a pattern, because your nervous system communicates, I can handle what's real. Healthy people feel relieved around that. They feel seen. Unhealthy people feel exposed around that. They feel watched. So either way, your presence pulls things out of hiding. Here's the danger inside this sign. Many people will try to make you their emotional home. They'll vent, they'll unload, they'll confess, they'll attach. And if you're not careful, you'll mistake that for intimacy. But confession is not connection. Sometimes it's just dumping. Your power becomes a burden the moment you confuse I can hold this with I must carry this. Sign 4. You detach so cleanly, it scares people. This is a sign that changes your entire life, because it's the one people misunderstand the most. You are warm until you realize your warmth is being used. You give chances until you see the pattern isn't changing, it's repeating. You try to talk it through until you realize they're not misunderstanding you. They're studying you. They collect your explanations. They learn your soft spots. They memorize the exact sentence that makes you doubt yourself. Then one day there's a quiet internal click. No fight, no big speech. You just stop chasing clarity from someone committed to confusion. You stop proving you're a good person. You stop arguing for your reality. And to someone who benefited from your empathy, that calm detachment feels like danger, because they were counting on your guilt to bring you back. This is why they call you cold, not because you lost your heart, because you stopped handing it to people who kept dropping it. Here's the key difference. Detachment has clarity. Numbness has emptiness. Detachment is clean and calm. Numbness is dead and distant. If you still care, but you're no longer available for manipulation, that's not coldness. That's healing. Sign 5. Controlling people feel threatened by you, even when you're polite. Some people love your presence, others dislike it immediately. They'll say things like, you're too sensitive. You're reading into it. You're negative. You think you're better than everyone. Notice what these phrases have in common. They're trying to make you distrust your perception. Because if you disconnect from what you notice, you become easier to manage. You pick up contradictions. You sense when someone's story doesn't match their behavior. You feel false warmth. You can tell when an apology is a reset instead of repair. And for anyone who survives on image management, you are inconvenient. You don't even have to accuse them. Your calm attention is enough. Sign 6. You stop rescuing people the moment you see the pattern. Early on, many empaths rescue automatically. They fix. They soothe. They overfunction. They carry the emotional weight for everyone. But this kind of empath reaches a point where rescue starts to feel like self-betrayal. So you change the rule. You'll listen, but you won't absorb. You'll care, but you won't chase. You'll support, but you won't enable. And here's what happens next. People who loved you for your kindness will still love you because your kindness remains. People who loved you for your compliance will call you selfish because the compliance is gone. This is why your circle often shrinks right before it gets healthier. You didn't become mean. You became less available for dysfunction. Sign 7, your sensitivity becomes leadership when you heal. This is what powerful actually means. Power is not intensity. Power is stability. It's the ability to feel the room without becoming the room. It's the ability to speak truth without needing to win. It's the ability to set boundaries without a lecture. It's compassion with a backbone. When you're unhealed, your sensitivity can make you anxious, drained, reactive, or lonely. When you're healed, your sensitivity becomes precise. You can spot danger without panicking. You can see pain without trying to fix it. You can sense manipulation without needing to expose it dramatically. You can just adjust your access and move on. Now here's the mid-video truth I promised, because this is where people get trapped. A lot of people call themselves powerful empaths when what they really mean is, I'm hypervigilant. They confuse nervous system survival with spiritual identity. So here is your one clear action step. Use this for the next 7 days. It's fast, but it's a game changer. When you sense something off in someone, do this before you speak or act. Ask yourself, is this clean knowing or urgent bracing? Clean knowing feels calm. You can wait. You can observe. You don't feel the need to fix, chase, or prove anything. Urgent bracing feels tense. Your mind starts scripting. Your body tightens. You feel pulled to manage the situation, manage the person, manage the outcome. If it's urgent bracing, don't speak truth yet. Regulate first. 1 slow inhale, longer exhale. Drop your shoulders, then choose one boundary, not a paragraph, because paragraphs are where many empaths lose themselves. They explain, clarify, prove, defend, and in controlling dynamics, explanations become material. Boundaries are what protect you. Here's the simplest boundary template, and you can use it in almost any situation. I'm not available for that. That's it. No courtroom, no evidence, no debate. If they respect you, they adjust. If they pressure you, you learn something. Now let's connect all of this into one sentence you can carry with you, because this is what will keep you from turning your gift into burnout. A Heyoka-style empath isn't someone who feels more than everyone else. It's someone who mirrors what's real, disrupts what's false, and learns to do it without self-abandonment. That's the whole path. You notice, you mirror, you get punished for noticing, you doubt yourself, then you stop doubting yourself. And that's when your life changes, because the moment you stop negotiating with your perception, manipulative people lose their grip. Not because you fight them, because you stop feeding the cycle. Fast recap, your presence changes people. You break tension with truth. People confess around you. You detach cleanly when the pattern is clear. Controlling people feel exposed. You stop rescuing. And when you heal, your sensitivity becomes steady leadership. If you want the perfect next video, watch the one about what happens when a fed-up empath stops reacting, because it shows you the exact moment your power becomes unshakable, when you stop explaining, stop defending, and start protecting your peace with quiet, consistent boundaries.